Now, I want to get into some identity politics, a favourite area of ours. Now, the ARIA Awards this year, Justin, are going gender neutral. Instead of having Best Male Artist and Best Female Artist, they'll just have Best Artist. Now, this makes perfect sense, of course, except there's going to be outrage if the Best Artist happens to be a male.
There will be outrage. Oh, you know what? It's so funny. I was thinking about this only a couple of days ago. I thought, how long will it be until the Oscars and the Logies and the Golden Globes start ditching the Best Actress and Best Actor and actually just putting it into the one category? And lo and behold, the ARIAs have trumped me. They're well and truly ahead. I'm actually kind of fine with it. I don't really have a problem. One thing that does bother me, though, is we seem to have forgotten that men and women are different, and that's kind of a nice thing, and we should celebrate those differences. But there are people who just seem so keen to make sure that we're all lumped into the one pile. It's going to be a very boring world. Very boring world.
I like the idea, Liz, because it will shorten the awards ceremonies, like the Oscars and those sort of things will only go for half the time, won't they?
That's the trouble. There's only half the amount of awards to go out now.
Exactly.
You know, they're up against twice as many people. So I can't imagine that the artists themselves are all that thrilled about this. But look, we've seen the MTV Awards do this. We've seen the Grammy Awards do this. It seems to be a trend. And I think it says a lot that just last week on the Wednesday Wrangle, we were talking about the fact that the Women of the Year Awards here in Australia now recognise biological men, transgender women. And here we are just erasing gender altogether out of other categories. So last week we were saying, well, these are no longer the Women of the Year Awards. They're more the People of the Year Awards. and that's exactly what these award shows are now doing, because if gender doesn't mean anything, then gender doesn't mean anything. And they seem to be rolling with that narrative. But I thoroughly agree with Justin. I think that's very sad indeed. I think both genders bring great diversity, which we seem to celebrate in every other arena. Both genders bring great diversity and something special to the table, but we just don't seem to be recognising that nowadays, and I think it's very sad indeed.
There are differences between the genders, and there are differences that at times I've come to appreciate. But when it comes to these awards, maybe they should get rid of, to make them really inclusive, they should get rid of things like excellence and discrimination. Instead of being Best Actor or Best Artist, it should just be Artist. And they put everybody in and you just pick someone out at random.
Everyone gets one.
Yeah, you get a participation award.
Exactly. Now, speaking about participation awards, I want to show you, you guys might not have seen this. It's a wonderful little example of the media at work when the Deputy Premier of New South Wales, the Nationals leader John Barilaro, was doing one of those Zoom sort of press conferences, catching up with regional journos. So they asked their question, he asked, and everyone's listening in. A journo by the name of Sky had her exchange with the Deputy Premier and was telling her friends about how it went afterwards, except she'd forgotten to mute herself. Have a look what played out.
He turned his camera off on me. Sorry, I'm off. He purposely did that. I saw him fiddling around with the thing and he turned the camera off when it was replying to my question. And that's why I said...
Sky, we can hear all of that, and that's not correct. I didn't turn off the camera. I was actually trying to find the next question. So, Sky, we heard everything you just said. Disappointed, and everyone else heard it as well. Just letting you know.
Hit the mute button when you want to mouth off, Justin.
Mate, I tell you what, over the years, if I had been caught doing that, it would have been far, far, far worse than what she spat out.
I bet.
I tell you,
whereas Liz,
by the grace of God, mate.
Liz would never cuss and curse because, as we just mentioned, you're from the fairer gender. But we'll have to take that up next week. We are out of time. Thanks so much for joining us.